Berg. The matrix of leadership is to you, old friend. Transform and roll out.
All right, welcome back to the Firemark Sessions. Today's session, we're jumping into the NHL. I got, my name's Alex Berg. I'm right here with the Goose, Jason Gallow. What's going on, brother?
How's it going, brother?
Sporting the Panther shirt, huh?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Back-to-back champs, 3 in a row.
Absolutely.
I had to rep my Penguins over here.
Nothing wrong
I
with
got to
that.
tell everybody, don't sleep on my Penguins. They've been kicking butt this year. But just a side story, just a little sad, somber note, but a tribute over here. I got a Beanie Baby over here, so I wanted to explain that to everybody. So this is a Pittsburgh Steelers Beanie Baby. So the reason why I have that is I listened to this hockey sports show for a long, long time, and it was hosted by a guy. His nickname was Boomer. He went by Boomer Gordon, and the reason why they called him Boomer is because he looked like the old baseball pitcher David Wells, the Boomer, right? So great show that he was running for years and years. 3 years ago, he dropped it. He was dealing with some form of cancer. It was really sad. And then tragically, a few weeks ago, he passed away. And it hurts because his show was awesome. And I hope I can do a tribute to him and inspire using this show. But I wanted to have like a representative of him here. So what I did was I found he was a big fan of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I found a Pittsburgh Steelers and I got a Beanie Baby. Why a Beanie Baby? Well, David Wells famously pitched a perfect game in Yankee Stadium in 1998 on Beanie Baby Day. And if everybody remembers Beanie Babies, they were like the hottest thing ever, like waiting in lines for, you remember.
Admittedly, insanely hungover, by the way, while he pitched.
Oh, was he hungover? I didn't know that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Insanely hungover. Yeah.
So the Beanie Baby is a tribute to David Wells. Boomer Gordon is from David Wells, and he's a Steelers fan. So this is my third co-host for the show today. So that's what we're going on. But the thing that's on everybody's mind with hockey before we get into the NHL, USA wins men's and women's gold in the 2026 Olympics.
Oh my God.
Unreal.
So freaking awesome. I mean, to dominate the way they did, they moved through that tournament basically like a hot knife through butter. I mean, it was ridiculous. And then to win gold on the 46th anniversary of the Miracle on Ice. I mean, come on. You can't write this stuff in Hollywood any better, and it happened in real life. And it was just so amazing to see and be a part of, and it was just so incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, it was great. And, some people that know me personally, but just to share with the whole audience, like I had a tie-in actually in 2001, I actually worked in Orlando for a minor league team called the Orlando Solar Bears. And we played in what was called the International Hockey League. And we had a good team and we went all the way to the finals. And we were fortunate enough to actually win the championship. It was called the Turner Cup. So we got the Turner Cup. We get to raise the cup, champagne in the locker room, the whole night. It was unbelievable. Awesome. And one of the assistant coaches on the team, he was happy that we won, but also he was happy because 2 weeks before we won the championship, he had a healthy baby boy. Why is that relevant? Well, on February 22nd, that healthy baby boy scored the game-winning goal for the U.S. Olympic team, Jack Hughes. And his dad, Jim Hughes, was an assistant on the Solar Bears team that I worked for. So I feel, even more pride because I have like this like obscure tie-in to the Olympic gold. It's great.
That is some serious 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon right there going on.
Yeah, we got it. So.
Absolutely. That's awesome.
Anyway, getting the NHL season, I'm wearing my Penguins jersey. My Penguins are the surprise team. Like I said, don't sleep on them. We're doing great. Change of coaching where we're getting Dan Muse in from Mike Sullivan. Mike Sullivan goes to the Rangers. I love Sullivan. I can't argue with the tenure that he had. He brought a couple of cups. But, Dan Muse, he's like 34 years old or something. And, I mean, he's just bringing this youth and this energy to the team. And they're just playing so differently. And there's a lot of young players they drafted. They drafted this guy late in the first round, Ben Kindle. He's 18 years old. He's younger than my daughter, which is crazy to me. And he is tearing it up in the NHL. And they have all these other good players coming in. And now you have the veterans. You have Letang, you have Crosby, you have Malkin. And they're energized by this youth. And I get it. I was a firefighter for a number of years. And as I got later on in my career and I got older, they would bring on younger people, 20-year-olds that would come in and they would be my partner. And we would have to go in and training and do these rescues. I'm like, I got to keep up with these guys that are 18, 19 years younger than me. And you just got to go and do it. And I feel like it just gave this youth into like Crosby and Malkin. Anyway, I don't know.
Absolutely. Competition breeds excellence. I mean,
there you go. Good point. Yeah.
100%. It's gonna look. We're all human. We're all inclined to, at the end of our careers, whatever career we're in. Hey, are we gonna maybe look to take it a little easier? Absolutely. But when you see these young guys gunning, whether it's for your job or gunning that they want to help you, as a veteran win the title. I mean, you got to keep up. I mean, if you don't keep up and do your part, you're going to get called out. Nobody wants to be the guy called out, in front of going, hey, Evgeny Malkin, hey, Sidney Crosby. Like anyone's going to call out Sidney Crosby.
No, yeah, no, I get what you're saying. But I mean, there's a lot of things, there's a lot of camaraderie in the fire department. There's a lot of camaraderie in hockey. And, like on the hockey team, like everybody has nicknames, they add like the little E, to their name or whatever, like, or Evgeny Malkin is Gino. Like they have all the little...
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, hockey is such a unique sport in that you can have guys who genuinely hate each other, like genuinely want to go and like punch a member of each other's family.
Right.
Like one minute. And then,
they're best friends.
You get a trade like a la Brad Marchand and Matthew Tkachuk.
Yeah.
They would have murdered each other. I mean, and now they're besties.
Right.
I mean, it's unbelievable. Hockey is the only sport. Yes, in other sports you get traded, you were enemy, but I've never seen anything like it in hockey.
It's almost really like family. It's like, if you have like brothers and siblings and then you fight.
Absolutely.
And then all of a sudden, like, the next day you're like best buds and you're going off and, doing whatever. It's very much like that. And that's what I love about it.
It is.
The Bolts are looking very strong. Tampa's coming around again. They got everybody back healthy. Vasilevsky's back to being Vasilevsky. Panthers in the East, too many injuries. Losing Barkov to the ACL was really just going to be too much. Although I did hear that he's skating, but there's not a lot of real estate left. I mean, we're at the end of the season here. I think they're like 10, 12, 13 points back out of a playoff spot. It's just and to your point, you would talk about the amount of hockey they played.
Oh God.
Right?
Yes. No, I mean, look at you're going from the last 4 years. Let's take stock. The Panthers won the President's Cup trophy. Had a disappointing playoffs. Okay. But that's hockey going into the postseason. The next 3 years in a row, you're going Stanley Cup Finals. They're played more hockey. They have more players who have more minutes than probably any other team combined in the NHL the last 3-4 years.
Sure. I mean, if you take 3 years of going to the Stanley Cup Finals, the amount of games that you play, that's a whole nother season.
It's a whole nother season. Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, that's a lot of time.
Yeah. I got to be honest. I'm okay not having Barkov come back. Let's call it a mulligan. Let's take it. Let's get guys some rest. It's okay. Someone else can win it. Okay, fine. But hey, to beat the best, you got to beat the best. And let's get at it. Let's get another, hopefully in the West, a Western team takes it, and then we can have a little bit of a rematch. Yeah,
I mean, what do you do with Bobrovsky, though? It's the last year of Bobrovsky, so...
You re-sign Bobrovsky. It's still a veteran.
37.
He's 37, but he's a goalie. Goalies can, I mean, look.
It's hard, though. Hard on those knees. I don't know.
It is. In theory, would I love for them to make a run at Shesterkin? Of course.
Right.
But they're not.
I know that's your guy.
That's my guy, but they're not gonna. And I'm okay with Bobrovsky because it's a veteran-laden team. He's a veteran. I mean, you're not signing like another 7-year deal, obviously. 2 years. Give him an AAV of drop it down to 7 a year. 2 for 14, 2 for 15. I mean, I'm okay with that. As long as Paul Maurice, look, Bill Zito, everything that guy touches turns to gold. So if he's okay with it, I'm good.
You could sign him, and you got a little balance. So it's like a Tarasov, the backup. He's been playing really well.
So I mean, he's a backup.
You could limit his. I'm talking about regular season. You could limit Bob's minutes a little bit too. Maybe give Tarasov, half the workload or something in the next season, and see how it goes because they age. So you never know.
Absolutely. And Bobrovsky just needs to get hot at the end. That's all. Like
any goalie.
Yeah, any goalie, obviously, yes. Yeah. But I agree with what you're saying. They could definitely do that platoon. Too bad they don't have Spencer Knight anymore, because if they had Spencer Knight, we'd be having a different conversation. But I get it.
The West, you got Colorado, Dallas, Minnesota. They're all in the division, and they're all juggernauts. Everybody else, I'm just going to go meh, because that's how I feel. Like, nobody stands out in the West division. The Kings are a disaster, even though they just traded for Panarin. I don't trust the Oilers anymore. I mean, I know, McDavid took less money to go ahead. He wants to win the cup, back-to-back Stanley Cups, but they have never addressed that goaltending issue. So we had the trade between Pittsburgh and Edmonton where they swapped goalies, which was fine with me because I never liked Tristan Jarry. I'm not a huge Stuart Skinner fan, but I'll tell you what, Stuart Skinner is playing way better on the Penguins than he was on the Oilers. With, on paper, the Oilers have better players. I don't know what that's about. I don't know if there's some sort of wrinkle in the chain over in Edmonton where just something is not gelling. It's almost like Carolina. They have so much good talent. They have Rod Brind'Amour as coach, but the goaltending's not there, and they just can't get over that hump. I feel Edmonton is the Carolina of the West. I don't know.
They very well could be. You make excellent point on Carolina. Edmonton has just not been able to get over that hump, and I agree. Stuart Skinner, just being a Panthers fan, having watched the Stanley Cup Finals so in depth last year, Skinner wasn't as on point, but 2 years ago, the first Edmonton Panthers Stanley Cup Finals, Stuart Skinner, he had them where they easily could have, if not should have, won that series. Stuart Skinner was playing out of his head. He was
in the last couple of games, yeah.
The last
when they were
few
down, but they were already down 3-0.
When they were down 3-0. Sorry, in the comeback.
Yeah, in the comeback. No, I know what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah, but you know what's exciting about it? We got all these fresh teams, and then we got Anaheim in the mix, which is great. Joel Quenneville is back. We got, in the East, we got Buffalo. The Sabres, I don't think they made the playoffs in 14 or 15 years. And then we'll get into it in our NFL show, but we know the disaster that's the Buffalo Bills. Oh God, yeah. So, Buffalo needs something to go ahead and root for. And, the way the Sabres have been playing lately, they're second in the East right now. They're, right behind Tampa. And I'm like, I hate to say this, it's almost like the Sabres might win a cup before the Bills win a Super Bowl.
That would be
that would be the open slap in the face. Except that Terry Pagula owns both teams, so I'm sure he'll be fine either way.
Yeah, but he'll be fine. But the fans, oof.
Yeah. And
Josh Allen won't be too happy.
Josh Allen won't be too happy unless he laces up the skates.
Exactly.
And Detroit, the Red Wings are back. They're back in the playoff mix, which is great because Detroit's an original six, and you want to see them in the mix. It's been really bad that they're not in the mix, and having Detroit and Chicago's not going to make the playoffs, but they're on the upswing. Connor Bedard, they'll build some more people. There's a good draft class coming out. I think eventually Chicago will come back, but at least seeing Detroit in the playoffs will be exciting. And, we got these young kids. I just told you about Benjamin Kindle, 18 years old. Macklin Celebrini, 19 years old at San Jose. He is ripping it up out there. And then, the rookie of the year already, we could end the season right now. Matthew Schaefer on the Islanders, 18 years old. He is just unbelievable. And he's completely lit up and charged that team. And they're running for the playoffs too. So it's great.
Yeah. We're going to come back to the Islanders in a bit.
All right. Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into our conflict debate over here. We got a couple of topics we're going to go ahead and argue. Offside challenges. So in the NHL, we got the offsides, and a team can go ahead and challenge if they don't win the challenge, then they're going to go on the penalty kill. The other team gets a power play. So they want to challenge if there's a goal, and they think it was offsides and the official didn't call it on the ice, they'll review the tape and see whether it was offsides or not. Is it necessary or is it a necessary evil? Your thoughts?
I believe it is necessary. And here I'm about the challenge system. I love the challenge system because that again, I'm a big have your cake and eat it too kind of guy. If we can go there. And the challenge system, it's obviously it's not perfect because there is no perfect solution, but it's the closest thing you get. It's the best of both worlds. You get the human element, absolutely, because you have to the gamesmanship. You have to when to use your challenge, when to not use your challenge. You have to you have to be on point with all that stuff. But I'm sorry if you're it's Game 7, the Stanley Cup Finals, and the guy scores a goal and he blatantly kicks it in while in the goal box. Where it's right in the goal and he just kicks it right in. You're gonna be okay losing on that? No, you're not gonna be okay losing on that.
I'm okay on that, but I'm talking about specifically on offsides challenges. Okay. Because here's my problem is there could be a thing where the puck just the skate just crosses the line before the puck. Mm-hmm. And then the whole sequence goes and they're in the zone for 45 seconds, a minute 15, and a goal is scored. And they're like, well, review the tape, the guy was offsides, and then they cancel the goal. Did that really affect the goal? I understand if it's on a break. If you're on a 2-on-1 or a 3-on-2 break, and there's a guy that's just offsides, maybe that millisecond is going to affect the goal, and you can go ahead and challenge it. But when the play develops a minute and 15 seconds later, and the team can't clear the zone, and it was like an inch offside, just let it go. Okay, I just and it's holding up too much of the game, in my opinion.
I hear what you're saying. And obviously can affect a scoring play or not affect a scoring play. The only thing is, I'm for more objectivity and less subjectivity. If we're talking about intent, which is what we're debating, whether it's, is the skate part of the play? Did it stop the play, or did it allow it to go forward? You're adding more subjectivity. You're making people use their opinions as educated opinions, granted, but their opinions versus no, that happened, X happened, so Y has to happen X. Like, I am all about objectivity. The more objective you can make something, the better it is for the game, the fans, and when you're adding that subjectivity element, it can get a little dicey at times.
Right, yeah. Another topic I want to bring up, the NHL playoff format needs to go back to 1 to 8. So the seeding used to be, you take the top 8 teams in each conference, and you would seed them based on their record, 1 to 8. 1 plays 8, 2 plays 7, 3 plays 6, 4 plays 5. Even better, which they should have done, well, they do it, I guess, in football, but they did in hockey, they don't do it in basketball, is they reseed after the next round, which is also great. So the higher ranked team will play the lowest remaining team, which is great. I mean, imagine if they did that in the NCAA tournament. That's a whole other topic. But then a few years ago, Gary Bettman, the commissioner, he decided, I'm going to go back. The way it used to be is we used to have divisions. We still have divisions, but you played like a division playoff. So the top 4 teams in each division made the playoffs. The top team in the division played the 4th place team in the division, and then you played the winner for the 2nd and 3rd place, and then you had a division champion play the other division champion for the conference. I mean, it made sense for a bracket. But then what you did is if you had a strong division and a weak division, the 5th place team in the strong division might be better than the 2nd place team in the weak division, and they don't get into the playoffs. So they modified it slightly. But what happens is you get these division matchups year after year after year. And for me, it's boring. I mean, it's cool that Florida plays Tampa, but every year, I don't want to see it every year. The Kings playing the Oilers every year. It's the first round of the playoffs. Colorado's going to play Dallas every year. It works, to build rivalries, which I get, which is really cool and fun to see. Is it the overall best? I don't know. Your thoughts?
Is it the overall best? Absolutely, it is.
Okay.
They absolutely should go 1 to 8. And they have to reseed, and I'm going to tell you why. Because we were just talking about you're building those rivalries. I get it. Panthers, Lightning, Dallas, Colorado. You're building those rivalries. But do you want to see that in the first round? Not really.
Right.
So, and what have we seen in the last few years in the first? Panthers played the Lightning.
But you're not guaranteed to get the rivalry later, though.
No, you're not guaranteed to get the rivalry later. But at least if you're doing a 1 through 8 reseeding and you're reseeding, you're more likely to get the better teams meeting later,
right,
in the playoffs, as opposed to meeting earlier on. No guarantees, obviously, because there's no way to guarantee anything like that. But if you do that with the reseeding, I think history shows that, especially with the NFL, especially, you get the better matchups later on in the playoffs. With your outliers here and there, but short of that, you want to get. You want your Cinderellas. I get it, but to be the best, you got to beat the best, and you want to see that in the end.
But I think the NHL is looking more. I really think it was a money thing. I think they really want to go ahead and showcase, a Florida Tampa first round, because if you don't have a Florida Tampa first round and you have a big team and a low team, and maybe they win in 4 or 5 games and it's boring, you're not getting the eyeballs.
No, you're not getting the eyeballs. But then what happens if you get? You
a
get
Florida Tampa conference final?
Yeah, exactly. You're getting all the eyeballs in the world.
But you're taking a chance that both those teams win both their first round games. This way, it's more guaranteed that they're going to play in the first round.
If both those teams are having the years that they've been having the last few, barring injury, they should be winning their first round, series.
That's true. That's true.
It's
all right. Question 3, 3-on-3 and the shootout in the NHL. This needs to change. I think it's complete garbage. Hockey is played 5-on-5. Okay, we don't play in the NFL. We're playing football and we go to overtime. Then it's 7-on-7 and it's flag football. No, like how ridiculous would that be if we did that in the NFL? Like it's just nonsense. Baseball. What would we do in baseball if we went to extra innings and said, "All right, everybody off the field, we're doing a home run derby"? and that's who determines the winner. No. It's ridiculous. And so many points in the standings are based on overtime points and losses and shoot. Maybe they need to even modify the system and have like 3 points for a regulation win and 1 point for a tie or loss in overtime and like 2 points for an overtime win. Make more when you're winning 5-on-5.
Yeah. Yep. Let me tell you. Okay. I hear you, and you made some good points, and I agree with some of them. But
talk to me, Goose.
There we go. I am okay with the shootout. I am more than okay. I love the shootout.
Okay.
How about that?
Okay.
Because hockey, come on, how many times have we seen playoff games? Like Pittsburgh, Philadelphia.
2:30 in the morning.
Yeah, 2:30 in the morning. We're still live.
Yeah.
Really? Hockey can take forever. Okay. I agree with what you said about there needs to be some system of, maybe whether it's 3 points for a regular, the regular win in the regulation.
Right.
And then an overtime win, 2 points, and then, or 1 point in a shootout. Like the more you get more, like it I don't like
right,
that.
So, you like my
when
format.
it's tied, it goes right to playoffs, and it's just whoever wins gets the point. That I agree. I don't like that. If you win in overtime, you should be rewarded. And I'm okay getting away with the 3 versus 3 in overtime. I'm okay with a 4v4 or 5v5 in an overtime, but you have to have the shootout. You cannot have these games going till 3 o'clock in the morning, playing 82 of them.
Oh, what about just going back to a tie though?
You could, but the shootout, you want the excitement. If you're rewarding the tie, what's the big deal about rewarding a shootout? It's fun. You get a point. You've incentivized winning in overtime because you get more points. So you have the incentive. But if both teams can't do it, then hey, let's see who can get a point for a shootout.
Yeah,
it's exciting, and it's sports,
I don't even find it that exciting, to be honest with you. I do not find it exciting. I've watched it so many times, and it's just like you're just so invested in this game, and it's just like player and goalie. It's just not hockey.
I agree, but the problem is you're a purist, and the games I feel like nowadays with all the technology, it's shifting away from the purists.
You want to do the shootout, but don't let it affect the standings. I don't know. I mean,
what's
nobody's.
What's the point?
For the fans, I guess. I don't know. It's just,
there has to be some reward for a shootout. You can just structure it in a way.
Give them a beer.
Give them a beer. I mean, that too. A beer and a point.
Getting a little extra incentive in the wallet.
Yeah,
you get $1,000 if you win the.
I mean, okay. Or maybe it's if you win a shootout versus a team gives you a tiebreaker or something like that. I'm okay with something along those lines.
Yeah, it's just we'll live to debate it another day. So,
absolutely.
Anyway, we're gonna jump into a new segment here, Goose's Grog House. So, Goose over here is gonna tell me he has a bar, and we're gonna have a couple of NHL people come into the bar, and depending on how they're doing, he's gonna pour them anywhere between 1 and 12 beers, and based on how they're doing and what their future might hold. So, Goose, you ready?
Oh, I'm ready. Let's
do it. Let's see who's walking into the bar right now. We got Patrick Waugh, Islanders coach. They're gonna make some noise in the playoffs. How many beers does Patrick need right here?
He gets about 10 beers.
10,
and I'll tell you why.
God!
Oh, wait. Let me give you.
Okay.
Because
have you looked at the standings?
I have. Let me finish.
Okay.
Oh, I have the Islanders going far. Here's why it's about 10 beers.
Okay.
That's about how many the Eastern Conference Trophy holds.
Okay.
To drink out of. That's why.
Okay.
So he gets 10. He gets about 10 beers.
You're not supposed to touch it though.
You're not supposed to touch it.
Are they just gonna take straws?
They could take straws
and drink out of it.
They could take straws. They could take other people holding it and just pour.
I mean, all right.
So that's why I'm at about 10 with the Eastern Conference Trophy.
Okay. All right. Very interesting. Mm-hmm. Very interesting. All right. Well, I see who you like in the East now. Let's see who's walking into the bar right now. We got our old friend Paul Maurice, Panthers head coach.
That man gets free drinks for life.
Okay.
Free drinks for life. 3 straight Stanley Cup finals. Well, I mean,
right.
It's back-to-back wins. It's actually, was Paul Maurice, was he the coach of when they lost to Vegas? No, actually, that was DeBoer, wasn't it?
No, he was there.
He was there? Okay. Yeah. He was there for that. Paul Maurice, to come in, it was exactly what another Bill Zito genius move.
Right.
I mean, Paul Maurice gets lifetime drinking at the Elbow Room. in Fort Lauderdale. He gets his own bar. He gets as many drinks as he wants. That man has turned.
You know, it's
the
interesting
Panthers
you say that. I'm just gonna, call a mulligan for a second on that because. He's even said himself, like, especially when they won the first, it was either the first or second cup. He's like, this team like kind of coaches itself. Like they know the goal, they know the talent. And Paul Maurice was like the epitome of NHL, always a bridesmaid, never a bride. Mm-hmm. I mean, he had success everywhere, and just couldn't go over the hump to win it. And I think. I mean, I'd have to look at it, but I think in almost close to like the most wins as an NHL head coach in history without winning a Stanley Cup before he actually finally won it. Not 100% sure about that. Fact check me on that. But, I mean, obviously he has to share some of the credit because they did win under his guidance and leadership. I get it.
Well, I mean, it's an age-old argument. Does great play breed great coaching? Does great coaching breed great play? Is it a mix of the two? I personally happen to think it's a mix of the two because...
I mean, I would have Bill Zito drink it for free maybe more than Paul Maurice, but that's just me.
Yeah,
It's not my bar.
Oh, no. Bill Zito also. Bill Zito, he doesn't just get a bar, he gets a nightclub. Okay? Bill Zito, so that guy, I mean, maybe they go into business together, him and Maurice, with their bar and nightclub. I mean, hey, but yeah, they get drinks for life. Sorry.
Okay. And look who's look who's walking in the bar right now. Connor McDavid. Connor, have a seat, and we're gonna pour you a few.
We are, definitely a few because we are, apologetic for the best player, the Dan Marino of the NHL, the best player in hockey to never win a cup.
Right.
And here's where we go. I go Connor McDavid. You ready for this? 17.4 beers.
17.4.
Do you know why 17.4?
On a scale of 1 to 12, he does 17.4.
17.4. Do you know what 17.4 is significant of, Alex?
I have no idea.
That is exactly, not about, exactly how many beers it takes to fill the Stanley Cup. And I'm
look at the big brain on Brett. He's got some research done on here. I like it. All right.
So Connor McDavid, 17.4 exactly.
But he's not going to drink out of the Stanley Cup.
I beg to differ, actually.
You think he's going to win one? With the Oilers?
With the Oilers.
No, I don't see it.
I'm telling you, I
don't see it. I think they're lame duck.
The playoffs step it up. They shouldn't have existed against the Panthers the last two. Like, the Panthers should have dominated them. And last year was a bit of a domination. Not as bad, but the year before, 3-0, coming back from 3-0 to tie it, to having ample chances to win it in Game 7. I mean, Connor McDavid,
Leon Draisaitl.
Yeah, Draisaitl. Thank you. Yes, they have to get the goaltending. I get it.
But they don't have it. That's the thing. They're not addressing that problem. And I almost think because Stuart Skinner's playing way better at Pittsburgh, there's some sort of culture issue over there because Tristan Jarry wasn't good, and now he's like the backup. They got like Connor Ingram playing. I mean, is Connor Ingram going to take you to the Stanley Cup Finals? Connor McDavid, he signs an extension 2-3 years or whatever, and he defers the money to free up cap space, and then they do nothing with the money.
Well, that's what if they don't do anything.
The organization is the problem. I mean, I almost felt like, I mean, I don't know what's going on. I'm not really an NBA guy, but, LeBron was having his issues in Cleveland, and he's just like, see ya, goes to the Heat, wins the title, and then they're like, okay, maybe we need to, 2 titles, right? Right, but he did lose 2 as well.
Yeah. He was afraid to post up a 5'4" Puerto Rican guard. Okay.
Maybe, and then Cleveland comes back, and I'm not going to get into the argument because Draymond Green, whatever, I don't know if they really deserve that title.
Yeah.
That's for another day. But, I mean, I look at, like, the Cleveland Cavs when they had LeBron is how I look at Edmonton Oilers with Connor McDavid.
And I agree with you. And I think Connor McDavid only signed a 2 to 3 year deal because like you just said, he took deferred money. He is giving Edmonton the chance. Hey, build a team around me. And like you're saying, if they can't do it, he's gone. He's not.
Of course,
staying there.
He's 100% gone.
He's 100% gone.
But you just told me 17.4. They're winning it with him.
I think they're winning it this year.
This year?
This year. I got them this year.
No way. They're going to get by Colorado, Dallas, whoever.
I'm telling you.
I mean, they get the benefit of playing in the West, so they only have to play one of Colorado, Dallas, Minnesota.
I have my picks, and Edmonton is one of them.
All right.
Yep.
Well, I mean, Sounds good.
Yeah.
We're gonna shut the Grog House down for a second here, and we'll see what happens. But
All right.
like I said before, lots of new teams in the East make it more entertaining. A hot goalie can always ride a team far. We talked about the Panthers, the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Oh boy.
They're gonna miss the playoffs.
You want to talk about culture issues? There's your culture issues.
1968, 67, whatever it was, and they haven't won a Stanley Cup. They're the national team of Canada.
Yeah. And it's unbelievable how the Canadian, you look at the Olympics, you look at the 14 Cup. Canada's unbelievable, but they can't build their national team who plays in the NHL to do jack crap.
Not to be a jerk, but their hottest player is an American.
That's
Austin
true.
Matthews.
That's
Just saying.
True. No,
just saying.
Can't argue that.
Just saying.
They've become, unfortunately, it pains me to say this. Have they become the Miami Dolphins of hockey, or the Miami Dolphins become the Toronto Maple Leafs of football? I mean,
you're talking about almost as long of a drought. I mean,
basically, there's so many things.
The Dolphins won in 73, the Leafs won in 68. Yeah. I mean, you really are. But the Leafs have been kind of consistent to even make the play. I don't know what's going on. I mean, you trade Mitch Marner, that's fine, but the rest of the team, they're just not playing up to par. I mean, you got a good coach. You still got Matthews, and you got all these other people on the team, and they're going to miss the playoffs.
It's unbelievable. You can't. Hockey is, and when you talk to Original Six, hockey is at its best when you have as many teams from Original Six involved, good as you can have possible. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm all USA, Stars and Stripes, but it's good for hockey when Toronto and Montreal are teams that are in the mix.
Yeah.
I mean,
Montreal
really
is decent this year, and they should make the playoffs, but Toronto, and especially if you get a Toronto-Montreal matchup in the playoffs, I mean, that's great.
Who's not watching that if you're a hockey fan?
That's great. So, and then in the West, the Kings, they spent all this money. It's Anze Kopitar's last year, and they can't find their way out of a paper bag. It's just, they're making moves. They just fired their coach, which was very puzzling because they should have fired the coach like a long time ago because they weren't doing well. And they do this thing in the NHL, which happens all the time. You think about firing the coach, then all of a sudden they go out, they win a game, and then the next day you fire a coach. You could lose 4 games in a row, and then they win a game, then they fire a coach. So how many of these teams fire coaches following a win, which makes no sense to me? They lost 8-1 to Edmonton, but then you beat Calgary 2-0 and you fire the coach.
I know, it's almost like the coach comes in and it's like, I'm not going to fire you today, but let's have a meeting. And then the meeting goes south and you're like, get out. I can't stand you anymore.
I mean, you think it's that, like somebody said something wrong and, pissed in somebody's Cheerios or something like that.
Exactly.
And the Predators are coming on strong all of a sudden. You got former Panther coach Andrew Burnett out there.
Okay.
And on paper they're a good team, and I don't know, they're finally starting to gel. So I would love to see a team kind of squeak in at the end and maybe make some noise. Maybe take a Colorado to a game 6 in overtime or a game 7 where Colorado didn't expect to be in a game 7 and it's a little tense and nervous. It would be great for the playoffs.
Oh my God!
Let's wrap with our finals prediction. So let me start. I'm gonna go. I got it chalky. I do. Colorado's the best team in the West. Tampa's playing the best hockey in the East. You got some of the best coaches on the teams right there. You got the goaltending, Colorado, not there, but there's so much talent on that team. I really think that they know how to win 5-on-5 hockey. Andre Vasilevsky in Tampa is back. They're getting all their players back. Braden Point's coming back. Victor Hedman's fine. Everybody's clicking. Everybody's gelling. Jake Gensel. So give me the Bolts. Give me the Avs. Give me the Bolts in 6 to avenge the 2022 Stanley Cup final loss. Your thoughts?
You're probably right. That's probably what's going to happen.
Who knows?
But that's not my pick.
I know. I'm feeling Islanders and Oilers or something.
Oilers versus Islanders. I got Oilers in 6.
Ah, see, okay, okay.
I got Oilers in 6.
That would be a great series.
That would be an unbelievable
we're back to the 80s when they played back-to-back years.
Absolutely.
When they had, the Mike Bossy teams versus the Wayne Gretzky, Ari Curry teams.
Yes. And Mark Messier and all that.
And Mark Messier, yeah.
Absolutely. That would be a great series, 100%.
I like the throwback. I like the throwback. But so you got Oilers in 6 over the Islanders.
6 over the Islanders, yep.
Oof. Okay.
I'm going out on a limb.
All
But
right.
hey, you
All
gotta go out
right.
on a limb sometimes, you know?
All right. I mean, I wouldn't be completely surprised if the Islanders make some noise and get there. I just don't see the Oilers doing it. I just think the goaltending is just not going to hold up. But we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Yep.
Under our idiot of the show, this is going to go to the aforementioned Edmonton Oilers. And the reason why I'm giving the idiot of the show to the Edmonton Oilers, so I don't know if you know this story. During last year's finals, the finals were tied 2-2. Edmonton had home ice, so they had game 5 at home, right? They went ahead. Game 4 was in Florida. Somebody at the Oilers called this like famous restaurant, sushi restaurant in Fort Lauderdale, and said, we're going to come back in game 6 that night. We want dinner reservations or the night after to have this huge celebration because we're going to win the Stanley Cup. So they already thought in their head, we're winning game 5, then we're going to win game 6 in Florida. That didn't happen. Florida came into Edmonton and dominated game 5. Then they went to game 6. I was there. Dominated games. It wasn't even close. It was like 5-1. Okay. Florida found out about that because the manager of the sushi restaurant contacted the Panthers and said, hey, this is what Edmonton's doing. Bulletin board material.
They ratted them out.
They ratted them out. I like it. I like it.
They ratted them
I like
out.
it.
I agree. And I'm with you. I think Edmonton is the idiot of the show, but I've got a different reason. I love your reason. Love where your head's at. Got a bit of a different reason. Alex, let me ask you, do you happen to know who Kate Flynn is?
No.
Kate Flynn is a rabid Edmonton Oilers fan.
Okay.
But she is better known as the Edmonton
booby girl?
Flasher.
Okay.
For not promoting her and having a Kate Flynn bobblehead night, not doing that, they're my idiot of the show. I'm sorry.
It more should be a booby head night.
Booblehead night,
Booby-
bobblehead night. Hey,
Right.
Either way, I'm good.
Right, yeah.
For not promoting that, that's my idiot of the show.
I could see it. All right, I like that idiot of the show too. But the end of that story of the Oilers, which I loved, is at the Stanley Cup parade for the Florida Panthers. They ordered sushi from that same restaurant, and they had it delivered to the parade. And while they're on the parade, they're eating the sushi just to be a big FU to the Oilers. So I loved it. So Edmonton Oilers for both reasons.
Yep.
You get our idiot of the show.
Absolutely.
And yeah. So that's our NHL show. We're going to see as we head toward the playoffs. Were we right? Were we wrong? We going Bolts Avs. We're going Islanders Oilers. We'll see. You know, feel free to comment on the show. Send us an email. We can go ahead and see what we're doing. You know, criticize us or whatever.
Criticize us, call us jerks, say we're doing great, whatever. Hey, we'll take your comments. Absolutely.
So that's our NHL show for a wrap. And thank you again for joining us.